This video shows drills that parents and teachers can use to help children learn the dividing skill with bars and numbers. I explained the basic dividing skill in Kid Video 2. Begin your drills by explaining that dividing means separating things into parts, and that dividing in arithmetic means separating numbers into equal parts. To show what this means using the bars, put a light green down on the table and explain that you want to divide the light green into 3 equal parts. Place 3 whites on top of the light green and say, these whites are the 3 parts of a light green, and they're the same, so they are equal. Move the whites apart and say, so here I'm dividing the light green into 3 equal parts. Now explain that when we divide a bar into 3 parts, we say we are dividing the bar by 3. And when we divide the light green by 3, we get 3 white cubes. Write the number 3 next to the light green and say that we can also divide the number 3 into 3 equal parts. And when we do this, each of the 3 parts is a 1. And so we say 3 divided by 3 equals 1. Write this down horizontally and explain that the division sign means divided by. Then write it vertically and explain that this is another way of writing a dividing problem. The number above the line is the number that is being divided, and the number below the line is the number of parts it's being divided into. Now work on some dividing problems with your child. As always, begin with a word problem. For example, Sasha, Susie, Sam, and Steph have 8 bananas, and they want to share them equally. How many bananas will each one get? Ask your child to say the dividing problem in numbers. 8 divided by 4, and write the numbers down. Next, ask your child to put the bar that means 8 down on the table. Now explain that you want to divide the brown into 4 other bars that are the same as each other. Ask her to find that bar and put 4 of them end to end above the brown. Next say, when we divide the brown into 4 parts, each one is a red. The brown is 8 and the red is 2, which means that when we divide 8 into 4 equal parts, each part equals 2. Write 8 divided by 4 equals 2 down horizontally and vertically. Here's another word problem. There are 12 months in a year and 4 seasons, one of which is spring. The seasons all have the same number of months. How many months are there in spring? Your child should take the same steps to find the answer. Say the word problem as a number problem. There are 12 months in the year and 4 seasons, and each season has the same number of months. So the dividing problem is 12 divided by 4. Lay out the bars that make 12, which is the number being divided. Then find the bar that matches when 4 of that bar are laid end to end. And the number that bar stands for is the answer to the dividing problem. This way of dividing with bars becomes more difficult as we try to do it with larger numbers. Take 54 divided by 9, for example. When we lay out 5 oranges and 1 purple to make 54, finding the bar that matches when we use 9 of them is quite a challenge. Fortunately, there is a simple workaround you can teach your child to find the answer to a dividing problem like 54 divided by 9, provided that she knows her times tables. The trick is to turn the dividing problem into a multiplying problem that gives the same answer. Here's how we do this. First, write down the dividing problem as an equation with a question mark and tell your child that it means 54 divided by 9 equals I don't know. Then explain that you can write the same problem as a multiplying problem, and the answer will be the same. Write the multiplying problem and tell your child that it says 9 times I don't know equals 54. Now, if your child knows the times 9 series, she will remember that 9 times 6 is 54. And since 6 is the answer to the multiplying problem, it's also the answer to the dividing problem. So 54 divided by 9 equals 6. To help your child understand why the dividing problem is the same as the multiplying problem, ask your child to show the multiplying problem 9 times 6 with the bars. She should make a stack of 9 dark greens. Now ask her to find the bar that makes 54 when she uses 9 of them. This is the dividing problem. Your child will then realize that the dark green is the bar that makes 54 when she uses 9 of them, because she used 9 of them to make 54. In the final drill I want to show you, we will introduce your child to fractions. Put the yellow bar down on the table and ask your child to divide this by 3. She will see that 3 whites are too short and 3 reds are too long. And she'll realize that there is no bar that matches the yellow when you use 3 of them. Next, explain that while we can't match the yellow with 3 of any of our bars, that's only because we don't have the right bar. Then draw this picture to show your child what the bar looks like, and to show that 3 of them, end to end, match the yellow. You can call this bar the pink one. Now explain to your child that the numbers we've been working with up to now, 1, 2, 3, and so on, are called whole numbers. And explain that there are other numbers in between the whole numbers that are called fractions. The pink one is a fraction that comes between the white and the red. It's longer than a white and shorter than a red. It's bigger than 1 and smaller than 2. Next, explain that some fractions are even smaller than 1, which is the white. When we divide the white into 2 equal parts, each part is a fraction called 1/2. We get a fraction called 1/3 when we divide a white into 3 equal parts. Explain that we write fractions as dividing problems. We write 1/2 like this. The number above the line is the number that is being divided, which is 1, and the number below the line is the number of parts it's being divided into, which is 2. We write 1/3 this way because we're dividing 1 by 3. Finally, show your child how to write the fraction that is the pink one. The pink one is a yellow, which is 5, divided into 3 parts. So the fraction for the pink one is 5 divided by 3.